All right. Hey, good evening. Happy Sunday, guys. I am going to try to get this. There we go. Perfect. All right. Good evening. This is Tara with Tara Best Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Mid, Missouri. If you're here tonight, give me a shout out. We're going to do a couple of cards. I'm not sure if I would consider them fun folds. These are definitely an easier fun fold for beginners. It's something that I haven't done before. But it's kind of nice because it's a twofer. And I'm going to use the Sentimental Park new bundle that's going to be available on Thursday. Hey, Susan, thanks for joining me. Happy 2023. It's hard to believe it's a new year. But this is what we're going to do. These are double diagonal folds, and you can get 2 cards pretty easily out of just some basic supplies. So what I did was I showed the variations that you can do creating 2 cards. Hey, Angie, thanks for joining. So 2 cards, basically the same, but folded different and with different sentiments. So, couple of things. This week is the last week to sign up for my product share. I'm going to cut that off, I believe, on Wednesday. Hey, Mary, Happy New Year to you as well. Thanks for joining. I'm going to cut that product share off on, no, not on Wednesday, on Tuesday, because I need to get my final numbers ready. So if you need that information, that's available on my blog. I'm going to maybe do something with this lighting. That doesn't look the greatest. That'll be fine. Hey, Karen, thanks for joining. Happy New Year. And the new catalog goes live on Thursday. So those last minute items, those are only going to be available until Wednesday. So make sure if there's anything that you want, grab that up. Hey, Karen, thanks for joining. Looks like we're going to have a full house tonight. So as I said, we're going to use the Sentimental Park bundle. This was probably my favorite bundle from the very beginning. This one and Play in the Rain one. Just because of the colors. The Night of Navy is my all-time favorite color, I think. And the blues and the yellows and the pinks, it's gorgeous. So this is what we're going to get started. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer. And I didn't do a lot ahead of time on this one just because I wanted to show just how simple this card really is. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push out with the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer. You've got a cutting blade and you have a scoring blade. So what I always do on something like this is, hey, Sally, thanks for joining. I'm going to push my cutting blade out of the way because I'm just going to score it first. And I find that if I push it out of the way up at the top, I have a tendency not to accidentally cut my paper. All right, so I'm going to score this full sheet of 8.5 by 11 at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it sideways. And I am going to do the exact same thing and score it at the halfway point at 5.5 and 5.5. Now, all of these dimensions will be on my blog tomorrow. So don't forget to check that out. So basically what I have is I have a piece of Night of Navy that's scored in half both directions. Now here is the one tricky part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this in my trimmer. So I want it corner to corner, and I don't know if you can see the bottom. So I've basically got each corner lined up with the channel. And we are going to do our best to cut it, hold our mouth just right. And so just like before, it's gonna, when I cut the bottom, it's not gonna cut it all the way, but that's okay, easily fixed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my paper snips and I'm gonna be super careful to line up that corner and just give it a quick cut right to that score line. There you go. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. That paper trimmer is just a scotch, like it's so small how off it is for that. All right, so I'm going to bring in my bone folder and I'm just going to fold these score lines and you'll see that it meets close to perfect. That one's got a little bit. This is going to have an overlap, it looks like, but that'll be okay. All right. And And so the reason it's got that overlap is it didn't exactly have it lined up perfect. So we're just going to make do and make it work. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to cut the paper, your designer series paper. So I have one already cut, and you can see that that one is going to go there, and this is going to go here. So I'm basically using the same cardstock. Now I could always just flip it. No, that didn't work. So you can see that basically what I'm going to do is that's what it would look like, and now I'm just going to turn it. So what I want is I want the same cut to go this direction. So I'm going to be careful and watch how I need to cut it, because if I happen to cut it this direction, that paper's not going to, I'm going to have to flip it over to make it work, and so then it's not going to match up. So that's part of the reason I went ahead and did not cut it, because I wanted you guys to see how that works. And how do I know this? Because that's the mistake I made this afternoon when I was doing it. All right, so I'm looking at the paper, and this is how I need it cut on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick it up, take it directly to my paper trimmer, and I'm going to line the corners up channel to channel and do that diagonal cut. Now, the other thing that I like to do on the DSP, I'm going to make sure that it didn't slip and slide when I was moving things around, is I'm going to lock that in, and I'm going to go up a little bit and then down. And I just like to do that on those diagonal cuts because sometimes your paper will curl. So if you've already got that kind of pierced and then cut it up, then it's easier to cut it down. All right. Set that out of the way. And so you'll see you have two identical cards with little work. Oh, crumb. I didn't bring my glue up. Well, I guess we'll be doing this with seal tonight. Maybe. All right. So it seems so weird that I haven't been here for a week. I'll be honest with you. That week off really threw me off. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I feel like Christmas was years and years ago. We got everything done pretty quickly around here. Well, what else is new? I've lost paper. Well, we may have to cut another sheet if I don't find it. This is what happens when you take a nap right before you go live. I don't know what happened, but I just couldn't stay awake any longer, so I took a little nap. Set my alarm. My husband was like, I was getting ready to come get you because I was worried. I'm like, no, I'm fine. All right, so we're going to line that up, and then we'll take some seal. And look at the colors on this paper and the designs. I love the polka dot here. Kind of breaks my heart to cover it up. All right. Just lining that up, making sure I've got that little bit of an edge going on. And there we go. All right, so the very first card, I actually did go out for New Year's. Yes, Mary, I did. Maybe that is what it was. And I probably did a little more than I should have. All right, so I've got a couple of die cuts. So this is from the Sentimental Party. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining. And so this is using this big die right here. And the cool thing about this is, I'm going to bring my Take Your Pick tool in. I'm going to clean up some of this stuff that we don't need. And if you don't have one of these, you definitely need one because this is my go-to tool. It quickly gets rid of all of that stuff that we don't need. I could use the roller, but I don't know. The pick is pretty good, I think. just to grab some of this stuff up. All right, so I have my list ready for Thursday. I hope everybody else has been working on theirs. There's so many fantastic things, including this bundle, which, in my opinion, when you throw the petal park with it, it is number one, number one. All right. So here we go. So there's this, but the cool part about this is you'll see that there's this, this cut here. And so what happens is you can slide your die cut, your white solid, and it doesn't have to be white by any means, but you can slide that in, and so then you have layer on layer, which is super cool. I love this. Like, who the heck's thought of that? Thank you. Thank you, Stampin' Up. All right, so we'll go ahead and clean this one out real quick. That won't take but a second. But yes, I love this this layering aspect with the dies. We've got several new die sets that definitely are allow you that layering bit, like we normally would layer, just, you know, with the multiple sizes and shapes and things. But this one is by far the most unique idea, I think. All right, clean that up. Just about done. There's something soothing to me about punching all of those things out. I don't know what. Maybe I'm just kooky. All right, I'm going to clean this out. Oh, crumb. Get it out of the way. Throw most of it in the trash at least. All right, so now I'm going to take my white pieces, and I think, yeah, we did Happy Birthday, Dear Friend on the first one. So what I found was doing the Dear Friend first, just because it's quite a bit larger. I did try to stamp them together at one time, but it didn't allow for spacing. So you'll definitely have to do it in two. So I have a piece. Ooh, that doesn't look straight. That is one thing you have to be careful with photopolymers. Sometimes you can get them on there crooked. Okay. So I've got some shaded spruce, and I'm just going to put, being mindful of the sides, I'm going to put that Dear Friend right there. Give that a quick clean. And then we'll pull out that Happy Birthday. And once again, that's a photopolymer, making sure that you get it lined up on your block straight. And right there above that. Perfection. Shaded spruce is a color that I haven't ever really worked with a lot. I don't know why. But it's a mainstay in this set, and I love it for that reason. So my shade spruce has been getting quite a bit of use lately. All right, what else did we do? Oh, let's celebrate all the things that you do. And so there's just so many options of what you can do with this. Great thank yous in here. Graduation. Okay, being mindful of what we're going to have on the side. You definitely need to be right there in the center. And then there we go. Okay. We'll clean that off, throw that back on the and close this ink so I don't make a mess. All right, so we're going to go ahead and layer this up. And I'm going to go ahead and use a little Stampin' Seal right here just because it can pop up just a little bit. Especially if you don't have it cut really good on that edge. There we go. And I'm not going to push it down. This is where liquid glue would be a little better. But it's sitting on the table downstairs. I would yell at baby boy, but he's not here. All right. Okay. Now I'm just going to give that a firm little press. So that one's set. Hey Shirley, thanks for joining. I hope you had a good New Year as well. We went out with some friends and listened to live music all night last night. Brought in the new year with a little AC/DC, so that was awesome. Not the real AC/DC, but, you know, a cover band. It was good. We had a good time. All right, there we go. So there's those ready to go. Now what we are going to do is do a little Stampin' and die cutting with some of the flowers. So there's so many flower options. So you have these two, and then you've got the larger ones, and then with the die set, you've got several different sizes where you could layer them. I mean, the possibilities are endless. All right. We'll do that one. We'll do this one. See if we can get 2 for 1 here. I'm all about Stampin' smarter. All right. We're going to bring out the Night of Navy. We're going to ink that up. And you'll notice I usually ink mine up. I usually do ink to stamp versus stamp to ink. So stamp to ink would be like this. I definitely do ink to stamp on a larger stamp set. These are kind of smaller, but I'm still gonna do. That way I don't think you get as big of a halo if you're using a cling stamp. Oops. And you have a little more control. All right. So we could stamp these with a mementos and then color them, but I love that you can do, I think I'm just going to do these individually. I'm going to bring out the petal pink, and these are great fill-ins, and it's pretty easy, it's pretty forgiving if you're out of the lines just a little bit. But what I do is I line up this corner and this corner on this particular stamp. And I think that's what you need to do with any stamp set that's a 2-step stamp like that, is to find your kind of furthest points and stamp from that side. All right. Now this one, I need to kind of do a little twirly whirly to find out where it lines up. And I think I hit it right on the mark on that one. I will say the one thing that fouls me up with Petal Pink ink is the fact that it is so light. I feel like I don't have it on the stamp until I get it on the paper, and then bam, it's really there. All right. So the next thing I'm going to pull out is the fantastic, uber awesome, could not wait to get it, the Boho Mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss Machine. So if you're a demo, I think you probably have about 2 more weeks to grab this. If you're not a demo, reach out to me. I'll tell you how you can get this at an amazing price. All right, so I am going to, we'll see if I can set that up so that you guys can see it a little better. I'm going to bring in my die set, and I find that with the mini machine, I don't really need any stabilizing tape. I can usually just go. Now, I'm sure that since I said that, that's not going to happen today, right? That's usually the way karma works. I get all fancy. I'm like, oh, it'll be perfect. And then I go to put it in the machine and it'll start shifting all over the place. Okay. Now, all right, I'm going to give it a roll here real quick. So this is perfect for any beginner that doesn't have a die cut machine. It looks like it shifted a little bit, but it's really good. And then we're going to put that one in. We'll do the same thing one more time. Jamie Sue, it's no big deal if you're late. You can always catch me on the flip side. And I appreciate you joining me. I hope you had a new year. Oh, you got your boho rosy. Don't you love it? I mean, I am in love. And the color is perfect. So I'm looking forward to the new in color, seeing what they've got paired up with it. I'm going to try not to slam that too hard so it's not too loud. All right, so now we're just ready to do a little bit of adhering. So I'm just going to take some seal and just put it right along this edge and put this where I feel like I like it, and then just press right there. And then we won't do the second one, but you get the drift. My cardstock's disappeared. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna pull out some of these. I already cut a little bit of petal pink and sweet sorbet flowers as well. So that's from that same set. And I am just gonna layer and put things where I think they look nice. So let me grab some Stampin' Dimensionals, because no card is complete without a little pop. And let's do one there and one there. So you want to be careful when you're placing this. I know it goes perfect with the Night of Navy. Rosie, I'm with you. Loving it, loving it. All right. So I want to be careful and don't want my dimensionals to be on the opening, just on this bottom piece, because then when you seal it, it's gonna be in the way. All right, let's take a dimensional here. We'll put it up on this side, watching very carefully. You see what I almost did? I almost put it right over that sentiment. All right, we're gonna have to bring in another kind of glue because I'm out. My Tombow glue is out. All right, I'm gonna do a little flower there. And let's do another petal pink one that we made. You can see that glue is too globby, but I used all of my good glue today. All right, I am going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool, and I've got some just basic white jewels that I'm going to use in the center of these flowers. That one's a little bigger. I need to reorder these, but that's going to wait till Thursday. I've got it on the list already. All right, so there is that. And now we'll do the inside, and we'll do the envelope, and we'll be done. And it'll be another week. All right. I've got a piece of petal pink and a piece of basic white. And we're going to do those flower stamps again, just because I think they're so pretty. Bring in that Night of Navy. And I think we're going to put the flower this direction this time. Bring in a different block here. And we'll pull out that petal pink. And I left the inside just open, other than the flower, just so you have room to put in some fantastic notes, especially on the let's celebrate the things that you do. That gives you a lot of space to really write something meaningful. All right. On this one, remember, I'm going to do from corner to corner just to line up that second stamp, and it works out every time when you do that. All right. We will take our seal. You could definitely use liquid adhesive, and I probably would if I had some right here. All right. Just lining it up so that I have that nice edge on each side. And here's our card base. And put it right in this corner. So you can see that you can slam out 2 pretty easy cards in nothing flat with this fun fold. So there it is. It wouldn't take that much longer to finish this one up as well. And now we've got our envelopes, and we'll be good to go. All right, I'm gonna do a little Stampin' on that envelope because we definitely don't want to leave it all naked like. If you've got friends that you know that make cards, give them my information. I'd love for them to reach out. In the new year, I've got classes that I'm planning, all sorts of stuff. So reach out, stay tuned. All right, there's that corner, just like I did the inside of the envelope. And then I've got a little bit of matching DSP that we'll put on here. I don't have my silicone mat, but we're gonna improvise. If you don't have a silicone mat, these poly bags work. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I want that tape runner right up to the edge without getting on my grid paper. Because the seal's not quite as forgiving as liquid adhesive. I'm going to put that up right up to the edge. There we go. Shirley, thanks so much. I'm glad you joined me. I'm glad you liked it. All right, we're going to do a little trim. As I said, all of my dimensions will be available on my blog tomorrow. Don't forget to check that out. If you create it, tag me in it so I can see how you did it. I'd love to see what you got. Paper product share ends on Tuesday. And it'll be cut up and sent out next weekend. All right, so here we go. Double diagonal, fun fold for birthday card. Thanks so much for joining me. Thanks, I'm glad you guys like it. I will see you here again next Sunday night for another card tutorial. Have a great week. If you've got any questions, reach out. I'd be glad to help you.